what happened to the money for the disabled people? PWD, what happened to that money? Why did you withdraw their money and what did you use it for?
Honorable Chair, there was an emergency that we have to undertake, but immediately after the audit.
We always point finger at the politicians. Oh, politicians are corrupt. But let me tell you, Minya, the most corrupt people in this country is the civil servants.
Public Accounts Committee.
It's the civil servants.
When the matter becomes political, it simply means that it's been put out in the public domain and being discussed as if there is a fight between the OSP and the Attorney General. And I'm telling you now that that does not augment.
Well, are you saying that the Attorney General, Dominic Ayeni, as well as his deputy, Stremsai, don't know this? That's all I'm asking.
Why are you now revealing to me that they might have leaked it?
I don't know. I don't. Samida, I think we've ended. We're done with the conversation. Okay. Thank you very much, Samida. Samida is Director for Strategy, the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Kisi Ejabing OSP's office, they don't have any dockets on OFORI ATTA. No dockets. No investigations has been done. Even Mustafa Hamidem, he's not done any investigation. You are from your own statement. You know that it is only the AG who can do this. Why did you write a letter to the Chief of Staff? What was your reason for that? What was the motive behind it? You are a bad man. You are a very dangerous man. You're not supposed to occupy any public office. They need to sack you, investigate you, and prosecute you. You need to end up in jail. You're a bad man.
Now, according to Kwame Jantua Esquire, a member of the CPP, say the OSP should invite former President Akufo-Addo for questioning on the National Cathedral project. Now, Can OFORI Attampo. Yentimi go extradite for my. Now say OSB, we are sure so of him. All the balls. He got the nerves to call Nana Dudan Akufo-Addo, Nana Showboy, Nana Gagai, Nana his former boss. We are sure. John Dramani Mahama for say papa ni buafu. O say all right am the boy be enu say omo abeg dey live with them more. Politicians see. Bibi e koso kama. Mo say na say aye slow makachi Attorney General. On fast tracking em enso koso kama. Na me nkotena TV ho a Public Accounts Committee koso krono pa na mo yes civil servant krono na mo body say enu technocrats ewura nyangopon. Also public service no be ya adwuma ya wo ba ya wo be disika wo be wi sika ni na di chese mu de mu hu bebia mo ano say every year bia no Public Accounts Committee ye be ya wi no naka bebrebe ye be ya wi no chese ya diga na sika bebrebe ano say because say fe ntumu nti ana say me mu di sanse mu no for now say mu ya wi a sewom straight na ano na ne wo share Attorney General the Chief Justice carried what acting home and say happen no meeting na we pass procedure anymore they say what acting Chief Justice papa the friend Bafu Boni and the Attorney General and the Auditor General and no more discuss Auditor General who are the two movie name who so wabokro na e go do Public Accounts Committee na yet na so na omo admit we na finance and find out to be say I am part second Omodia. Attorney General. I say yes, I say mo. Who the case me go court? Who go do court? Chief Justice says yes. Make sure. So I judge for much me attempting at the two kama. Say nipa no odi for. Oh monima mesramo. And say woman no. Ya be kama. Omekum wate. And the Chief Justice say you mate. Attorney General say you mate. All the day say you. Mati
Ora Felix Kwachi Ofosu oyem Rashebedwani ono ene kasadema mampanyi ena oye Minister Government Communication na nasem ena wo chechemu se mampanyi John Dramani Mahama ene one Chief Justice afe one Attorney General mechire aban lawyer panyini ena afe Auditor General womo edi hyiemu womo atwetwe nkomo ahwe kwampa wo betimi emia kwan ya obefa so ama auditor general's report a wode eba obehwe no ana obehwe report ni na nkrofo adi aban sika oman ni sika wohwe aban nwuma ahoduo mu a wo mo bekwa akoye wodete no na enuoma nkoyie kura na sika ne bia fefa nkrofo ase ebi wo ho a wadi wohwe ne ba bia wunhunu ebi wo ho nso a na sika no wo betimi atiaka ana ye betimi agimpo de afri no wo ebi de ye ajapade we mo nyina ye enuoma ahoduo bia mampanyi wo mo tena se twetwe ho nkomo eno no mo si gina ye se auditor general's report a wode ebeba no esafata se wo beheda aye special court bi asi nchen se de ebe ya wo mo de ne metwentwen so emetwe direct ntin bi anie wo bi wo ho a se ye chew na auditor general report no kire se wa fasika ampa yenya ho danse ye bisaw wagye atomu gitu mu anipa kro no ye gye sika entam so nya afa ne ye betwentwen na ase kɔ ne bra bi anie afei ade bia wo hu bia ye gye sika na afei ne ye bɔ ukɔ adu na ye de bone na bata ho no so ye de bɔ utiri so na unipa kro no se asotwe bi esese ye de ma no ye de ama we ye ntwentwen na ase nche wo ho kra.
How much is national service allowance? A meager 700 cedis. So you could never believe that millions of cedis could be siphoned through a project which pays personnel 700 cedis. It is a poverty project. If you listen to national service and what we all know about national service, the suffering we go through, we all knew that it's a place for suffering. Then you are told someone was able to siphon 500 million cedis. That was the shock in it. So it was shocking that you could siphon this amount of money from, and personally I didn't believe it until I started seeing the evidence. Then I started seeing the movement of money into bank accounts and out of bank accounts, and I was shocked too. Now the shocking thing is how elaborate and deliberate people could be in designing this kind of scheme to siphon money from public coffers into private pockets. You create a market, so the market is supposed to be a place where national service personnel could buy items that they didn't get in their posting and then pay by installments
on
over the period from their allowances. So this is a brilliant idea. Then we realized that the people set this system up and were pushing a lot of money into the market when no one actually bought anything. So we're paying huge sums of money to vendors in the market when these vendors sold nothing. And these monies then go around and then enter into private pockets. That is the shocking thing of it. And we believe that when the trial starts, Ghanaians will be able to see how shocking it was. And that is not to say that they are guilty. No, it's only the courts that can say someone is guilty. But when you see what's wrong, you will feel it.
So Gift Owari and Mr. Osesibe are, in this case, the first two accused. You have just detailed how shocking the evidence is. Is plea bargain on the table for them?
Every Ghanaian is entitled to plea bargain, and I mean, they've approached us. Some of the people have approached us to bargain, and so and we rejected some. And the fact that some they are in court should tell you that we rejected some of the proposals.
Does that include Gift Owari specifically?
It's without prejudice, so I will not mention them. But I can confirm to you that a lot of them approached us for bargaining. We considered them based on the criteria I mentioned to you. We considered them and we rejected some.
Right. So you estimated about 500 million cedis, and the conversation has come up for a plea bargain, which means most likely that some of the monies are going to be returned, if not all. So with the conversations that have been had so far, how much possible recovery are we looking at?
We really are looking at recovering that amount.
The entire amount?
Yeah, we're looking at, you mentioned 500. Yeah, you mentioned 500.
500 million cedis.
Yeah, we're looking at recovering that. It's one thing we're looking for that, and the people having it to give. And if they don't have it to give, we would trace every single thing that they have, every asset, every property, as far as the law will allow us. We'll recover each and every one of them.
John Dramani Mamo John Kwame Nkrumah John Ababu John Obiase smiling mafia where they say wardrobe. Mami Pokuya Soa the cheerleader and as the chairperson or this particular public accounts committee. Ano na Obdi Nkomo Kobusa esika amanfo bia ko yusu na omko yusu sika no omda ko tese omda ko tukwan teke o na sika no omo ebilogi to omo no eye disabled fo sika nka ba 1 month also according to the omo kan tese 1 month na nko ma sika no e da ma disabled fo no ana tese omo da ko your official duty because omo accounts na sika ni omo buy no so mo be funded.
What happened to the money for the disabled people? PWD, what happened to that money? Why did you withdraw their money and what did you use it for?
Honorable Chair, there was an emergency that we have to undertake, but immediately after the audit, this money has been refunded. The money spent was supposed to be taken from the CF, District Assembly Common Fund, but as at that time, our common fund, we weren't having balance in our common fund, and we have to rely on this, and that activities must carried on. So we fall in there to use that, carry out that activities. But immediately that the money has been refunded.
What activity was that?
Yes, Honorable Chair, it was an official trip to Tamale.
Coordinating director.
Honorable Chair.
Where is your finance officer?
Hello, I'm here, please.
How long have you been in that office?
3 years, please.
Do you see how you embarrass politicians? Do you see what the DC has come to inherit? Why will you take money from the people who are sick, the disabled, that you used it to travel to another district to go and do what? What were you going to do? That is so urgent that you had to take the money from the disabled.
Yeah, Honorable, it was in respect of some trainings, and those had to do with the benefit to the assembly and to the disabled themselves.
How long does their money stay in your account before you release to them? When the money hits the account?
Yes, please.
How long does it take for you to release the money to them?
It doesn't take up to a month, and that is based on the sitting of the committee.
So when the money came within 1 month, then you took the money out and used it for your travel. Then you are coming to tell me that immediately, how long did the audit take? Coordinating director. How long did it stay in the account before you took it?
No, the money paid back immediately after the audit. Immediately we get money from our common fund.
How long did it take before you got the money?
It didn't take long. We paid it from the
How long?
first quarter release.
How long?
Not up to a month, Honorable.
1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year.
It's around 1 month, Honorable, because we paid it on 26th of April 2024.
District Finance Officer, Coordinating Director. This should be the last time you touch the money from the people living with disability. This should be the last time.
Well noted.
Well noted.
Honorable, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. We are appealing to all districts, MMDCs. This report you inherited, so it didn't happen during your time, but you inherit assets and liabilities. Please, for heaven's sake, next year around this time, we don't want to see anything like this in this report. Any DC, any report that comes and have this infraction in it, we will apply the appropriate sanctions. And Madam Chair, I'm happy you have taken this issue very, very, very serious. And we'll cooperate to make sure we see to it that it never happens again.
And wait, Ghana for your fake love, yeah, Ghana is hospitable. Ghana is there, we are compassionate. We know to foreigners, not to ourselves. So, if you come because religiously, I can't say, or yeah, obedience, or spiritually, or because I contract. But naturally, yeah, Shadan got 2 years because we did them. How I ring. You best say your opportunity. and Chicago ya said ya ba enye de na ye omo de ha no so no eno so high chairman say ya go ya de foforo na we na mani na te say o donyankopon hatasoro said the most corrupt people are obenya no Ghana sisi in pre civil servants for no o civil servants for no ayalala
you see, I keep on saying, say, we are living in a country. The major problem we face in this country is because everything we do is partisan. So say, obiya dia enye krana. Na ye di amanyosem ena OFORI. Ye di amanyosem so OFORI pa. We lose the substance of the issue and how to deal with the issue because akoya amanyosem. And everybody will be a person or journey to hide behind a political party for protection. Minority leader, the core say, yeah, babaki, the minority for ever parliament. Enfa omo MPP party no entu in chain. Now rather mo one share Ghana atare. I think that it is a very good call. If only ye kano, it will not be like ye kakeke. Nembum ye beden. Ye be ye the say ye efa. If we talk about corruption, we always point finger at the politicians. Oh, politicians are corrupt. But let me tell you, Minya, the most corrupt people in this country is the civil servants.
Public Accounts Committee.
It's the civil servants. They are most corrupt people in this country. But because the minister or the deputy minister is the head of the ministry, it's always put at the doorsteps of the politicians.
The one also say be a minister, no, be a supervision, and I say be a paying attention, detailed attention to a near man, and I say be a paperwork near the enco. And soon so can want in a moment me FAS, yes, sir. And no bet to me about 20% of administrative aspects when they go to the ministry. Look, the ministry, departments, and agencies are being run by the civil servants and not the politicians. President Mahama eba abemu. Our ye MNDCs. Why not catch on someone take over? Is the municipal chief directors no catch on someone take over. Upa. Yentre from the time of President Mahama a massa announcement till you nya MCE or a DCE in an assembly. Now control me records what has happened in those assemblies. There was no MCE, there was no DCE. So the office is being run by the chief directors or the coordinating directors and their finance and the call for the go on. But obe and then when the politician comes, and that is where your issue comes in, they say, oh, we have done this, we have to regulate it. And because a politician too will come, because we are using the Sikadiako running election, and because of also the selfish and the greedy interest in near banner the division in the envelope manner, then you also regulate it and becomes an issue. So for me, I think, it is high time, we will not only look at the politicians when it comes to corruption, but we should look at the institution in which the politician is headed before we can deal with it. And it shouldn't also be a friend is saying, but it should be something that more journalists and so but you see, now me catch you and I me catch you and I say, look, we are living in a time in this country of ours, everything because it is politics. Oh no, be for me the saying.
Oh, some bedin no cry.
They be no cry.
Oh, nyaba. Look, now no say me catch you and I say one I say yeah, now me catch look. Last 2 years, issues confronting this country. Ushamu colleagues need the energy, the research. Omuye now so anapa and I say how much your friend say anajo, and I say weekends. The energy at which they talk about the issues. And no man come on to because if you koji V8, if you koji F150 or more person or more ton, if you koji V8 or more per plugs or more person or more sisa.
Office of the Special Prosecutor, any Kevin Taylor fight still. Aye hot, aye shit, aye fire, cassette, yay, heat, what it? Kevin Taylor said, man can. Say me come here, na Attorney General, Deputy Justice Sims, I ever feel to say, aha, I inside any can docket, every OSP officer. Anna Kevin Taylor says, OSP, someone now okay, can. I feel the woman in power. What was I feel in wonderful? On says I may catch them, say, you will never be costal. Now, Papa, no open pill. The OSP must go. This is a hashtag. OSP must go and start a training.
Time Attorney General Echokoma Kisia Jabeno or say, I bring you compliments from the Office of the Attorney General. Or say, 1. This follows your letter to this office dated June 20, 2025, and our subsequent conversation on subject can Nana ya OFORI ATTA. Inti Attorney General no OSP say letter we ya metrama uno may they responded to June 20 letter biya otrobaye all the way back in June 20 because this letter was on the 3rd of September, right? Second, for urgent law enforcement decision-making purposes, kindly furnish this office with the following. Or say, Mr. send you betu mama ejumana contem about OFORI ATTA extradition no. Mr. Sanyoma we fabreme. 1. A copy of the docket and in bracket the Attorney General in its current state on the subject. Or see, for a copy of the docket in breme in its current state. Or see, baby, what rubiano, what the for docket in the breme. So when you in its current state, because you are bringing the docket with your investigators coming also to come and help work on the docket. Into say, baby, I would do no in its current state. In this way to 70% to 80% to 10% to you just bring it. I want to see it because for all you know, I might also have some suggestions or even something to add to the evidence you already have. So the Attorney General was being polite. The Attorney General was not being forceful. The Attorney General was not ordering the special prosecutor. The Attorney General was being polite. The Attorney General wanted the collaboration. So I'll say, 1, a copy of the docket in its current state on the subject. 2, an investigative report, even if interim, on the subject. Or say, another one I was say investigative report, even interim. Even the moya juma krampa unya nyen official no krampo, you can add it. I don't have a problem. I can still work with it. So the Attorney General was ready and willing to work with the Office of the Special Prosecutor on everything that they had worked on so far. He was not even about why ye oh baba ye what doing or see baby what do be an brand nye juma because one in the first place ocho letter come chief of staff say o per se ye fa kwan bi so ne de OFORI ATTA ba enti se o per se fa kwan bi so a and fa ejuma wa baby what do be afa bra me na me ya aban lawyer panyini na me no wontena se ne ye nhwem eno boni be ne wom Third, any other information which you believe will be necessary for the purpose. Or say, third, so what information for be our audience or the can webboa for no can into 1. For the bra, for docket nebra in its current form. Or say it does not matter where you have gotten to, because near to her. But baby also who say Attorney General air diabolic and air simple. Letter away a June and a September and an Attorney General air responded to a OSP the June letter or trouble. Now had Attorney General on his Twitter page all the way in August. That is after on it, Attorney General I back and forth. He wrote on his Twitter page. Obi busa the question. Obi posti can OFORI ATTA issue and a gentleman called Gideon. Ebusa a Office of the Special Prosecutor question say. This is in August. Remember the back and forth with Attorney General any OSP, it was in June, July. All right? June, July. Now, in August, Attorney General could post BB on the Twitter page. So, and Abrante Bebusa says, oh, I thought this notice would furnish us with details on how far the extradition process has reached. But, well, Abrante Bebusa says, oh, Attorney OSP. Now, me just say, sir, a year update on my idea, and can my details about OFORI ATTA and the neighbor. I was okay. And at Office of the Special Prosecutor, I responded to Abrante. They did not try. Data shall say 20th of August 2025. I feel we are. Special Prosecutor say OSP has done everything it has to do. OSP has done everything it has to do on this case. It is now the turn of Attorney General and the United States. Or see, OSP, they also oye biya case will be our year. It is the turn of the Attorney General and the United States. The same time, Attorney General was sitting in his office waiting for the docket. Attorney General, the same time, and Special Prosecutor Agent Twitter, Ekacha Ghana for say, on why the human in it is left with the Attorney General, any US phone penny for, and also making sure say, yeah, the OFORI ATTA no. The same time, no, na Attorney General Ebusa a month ago, Ebusa OSP said, for docket in its state, maybe you will be for investigators count, but he was on Twitter telling the whole world to say, why you money in a Nipa on person be money Attorney General. But in the letter, the Attorney General was still waiting for the OSP to hand over the docket of OFORI ATTA to him. Now, Uko Enima or say, we call something Mutual Legal Assistance Program, and the central authority is AG. If you need a person or something from another country, in this case, a person, you request extradition through the central authority to the nation where the subject is in. So when you say I want to ask the OSP, who gave you the authority to put OFORI ATTA on the Interpol red list? Because if you know there's something called the Legal Assistance Program, then it means that you, the OSP, you knew that in the first place, putting OFORI ATTA on that list was going to hinder investigations. Because we didn't know anything called Legal Assistance Program. And we know that with the Legal Assistance Program, it is only the Attorney General's office that can take that action. So what made you decide to put OFORI ATTA on the Interpol red list? It means you were doing this to stop the Attorney General from taking any action. Now, in the first place, why did you first write a letter to the Jubilee House instead of the Attorney General, who is the lawyer of the government? Why? Jubilee House, do they prosecute? It's not a prosecutorial office. They don't have the power to prosecute. And with all the law you are a lawyer, you know that there's nobody in the Jubilee House who can prosecute OFORI ATTA or insist that OFORI ATTA should come to Ghana. It is only through the Attorney General's office, because you are educating us that when you use the Mutual Legal Assistance Program, the Attorney General can activate that for OFORI ATTA to be extradited. Now, why didn't you write to the Attorney General but decided to write to the Jubilee House? You knew what you were doing. You were trying to infuse or trying to malign the Jubilee House. Senior Beya Assembly Drew no Akacha Ghana for said the president did not take action. You did not get support from the Jubilee House. You were trying to give the Jubilee House a bad name because you are an experienced lawyer. And even this definition you given us, it means clearly you know how the procedure works. So why did you write to the Jubilee House instead of the Attorney General directly? The Chief of Staff, is he a lawyer? Does he represent the government? But you know the state attorney. So why did you write the letter to the Jubilee House? Because he wanted to implicate the Jubilee House. He wanted the conversation later to be, say, I even approached the Jubilee House and they ignored me. But the Chief of Staff, being intelligent, he forwarded that legal document to the Attorney General, because it is the job of the Attorney General to look through the legal document to give us clear-cut direction on how to tackle it. So why you as a lawyer, why you as a prosecutor, why did you decide to forward a letter to the Jubilee House whilst you know the Attorney General's office is in charge of that? Because from your own explanation, from your own Twitter page, you said there's something called Mutual Legal Assistance Program and the central authority is the AG. You know that the central authority, in terms of the legal assistance program, it is only the AG who can activate that between Ghana and the United States leadership. So why did you write the letter to the Jubilee House? It is because he's doing politics. The man is a bad man. Kiseja being or dangerous. He's a very diabolic, dangerous guy. He knows what he's doing. You see, he sits with OFORI Atta's people and they devise a plan. What they want to do now is they want to politicize the matter to the point whereby it will look like the Jubilee House is blocking investigations. That's all. So if the chief of staff, now when you go to the last paragraph on his own response, the AG will work with that country, and when they finally agree to extradite the person, the OSP will be invited to US to work together with their law enforcement to bring the suspect back. It is an cultural letter to come AG. And AG busa or docket and Kaudemano, and AG activate mutual their assistance programmer. Then you can come to the US and work with the US authority to bring OFORI Atta. Why did you choose to go to Jubilee House? And even after you went to the Jubilee House, the AG respectfully wrote to you and said, give me the docket in its current form. I like the way the AG used that word. Because you see, if the AG had not said, give the letter to me in its current form, the special prosecutor would have told us that he is investigating and that he cannot release the investigation. But he said, give me the investigation, the docket in its current form. Add 2 of your investigators and the investigations you've done in its current form, bring it. Why couldn't you do that till date? Now, Adia Chinda Okachere said, this week, you will be done with the investigations and then you will forward the docket. He is lying. I can tell you on authority, Kisi Ejabing OSP's office, they don't have any dockets on OFORI Atta. No dockets. No investigations has been done. Even Mustafa Hamidem, he's not done any investigation. You are from your own statement. You know that it's only the AG who can do this. Why did you write a letter to the chief of staff? What was your reason for that? What was the motive behind it? You are a bad man. You are a very dangerous man. You're not supposed to occupy any public office. They need to sack you, investigate you, and prosecute you. You need to end up in jail. You're a bad man. He is working with OFORI Atta's legal team. They are telling him what to do. They want to make sure they implicate the Jubilee House. Imagine that when the chief of staff received the letter and said, you know what, just put it aside. This OSP is not serious. Imagine what he would have said today. Me say, Nyame and the Jubilee House one fofi. They are intelligent to know, say, legal matters is supposed to be the Attorney General. Imagine, say, and assuming, say, the chief of staff, he forgot. Assuming the chief of staff forgot and said, I'm busy, I'll take care of this. And the two bibim and no choice, so I'll take care of it. And then real fear. Unmatmanka OSP bekande. Anka OSP release a statement. Anka Obabe Jina TV so I catch them say. Anko nam menkwana menamo de meye bia enye ye if we say menamo ka say let away me try the command Jubilee House 3 months ni I have not heard anything. We were up there, hey Mahama on the Jubilee House. They are protecting OFORI Atta. The OSP needs to leave office in the next 24 hours. He's a crazy man. This guy is a crazy guy. This is a guy you don't allow to occupy public office. We need to demonstrate, go to that office, seal it off, and tell him never to come there again. Or you're a dangerous guy. Not or you're ready to fight corruption. He's a bad person. He's a bad man. A very, very wicked person. He's making money out of the office. I did not write this. You wrote it. It means you have more knowledge about how to extradite OFORI Atta than any of us. Kiseja being, you have more knowledge. You know the right channel to take, but you refuse to take it. Now, let's take our time and read the statement he put out today. Namenchiro Bibia Akwawe, Emmanuel dangerous. On say, Kiseja Bion, our media for be Uti Omoka on his side. They do his fucking bidding for him. May expose you munyina. Also media for be, especially more Joy News. Those boys are on his payroll. And sa Sameda Kono on in the lead side Jumano. Any time bia Kiseja being ne tobeka edwemuno. those people on Joy News Multimedia, they do the damage for him. And why so we are not even asking about accountability. We are talking about $50.5 million. As we sit here, this guy cannot come on TV and say, through my work, I have prosecuted this person. He is still amending cases in court. This idiot is still amending cases. Amending cases in 2025. From 2022, you are amending cases in 2025. What bodam? How is this even possible? You entered office in 2022. You are amending cases in 2025. Imagine, sa letter come Jubilee House no. Unim di ankobe. Sa letter we. Our come Jubilee House no. What he was going to do was that it would have been one of the biggest scandal NDC about facing in their first term. Yeah. In this letter we a trap. They were cooking a scandal. And Kasade we chief of staff but careless and keep it letter for even 3 weeks, 1 month. And can be the biggest scandal. And can you obey? And Kobetchanya will release a letter with their Joy News for. And then at the same time, Azuri Moyano, they coordinate with such people, and that's how they do their journalism. It's in Kuseja Bing, Obetchanya 2 months, 3 months. Anytime I end this in Ibibetina TV, so I can say Kuseja Bing needs to be taken out of the office. He's not doing a job. Then he will leak the document to Azuri. He will leak the document to Joy News. So we'll be sitting there, but say, ging, breaking news. The special prosecutor, 3 months ago, basically sent a letter to the Jubilee House. We will be giving the details. Ging. Now the caption about is the Jubilee House protecting criminals. No matter static. They will do a whole episode.
Or a criminal. Also a criminal. But Office of the Special Prosecutor, Office is also Director of Strategy, Research and Communication. Sami Dako, SSR, Mobika Pausi, the Muya Manadea, too political. And I say, hey, to what you? They too political. There was no way just say, ye politicizing Yaman. I say, NDC for the blame the boss. He said that because if you listen to MPP Nintino, or she'll say for the into a political massa. Oh yeah, Casamachiano. And also Ocasiano, Yabeka, you.
Let me explain to you again. As we speak, the OSP is the only independent law enforcement agency that is investigating Mr. OFORI ATTA, that has placed him on Interpol Red Notice. And that is the body that, when he is brought down to Ghana, is going to prosecute him. The OSP has worked tirelessly, even when many people doubted it, including media personnel, when we had said that Mr. OFORI ATTA was just playing hide and seek and did not want to come to Ghana. We have come too far to botch our own operation. We are a specialized institution. We are very focused and we know exactly what we are doing.
Okay.
The AG's role in this exercise is to help.
I'll rephrase my question. I don't know whether your response is the response to my question. Again, how would you react to the position of the Attorney General following the comments by the Deputy Attorney General that it looks like the back and forth from the OSP seem to be slowing down the process to bring him right here into our jurisdiction?
There is no back and forth between AG and the OSP.
So how would you react to Sremsai's position?
It is a joint work, and we are working tirelessly to ensure that the right information is boxed up and given to the Attorney General, and that the OSP will do, because OSP has come too far to let it go. What OSP needs now is for the Attorney General to assist the OSP to complete the extradition that will bring Mr. OFORI ATTA down to Ghana, for the OSP to prosecute Mr. OFORI ATTA.
All right.
Remember, this is not
the politics that you talk about, the politics that you say that is being inferenced into this subject matter. Is it in reference to perhaps the comments by Sremsai, the Deputy Attorney General?
The comment is to anyone whose motive is to make it political, to make it easier for Mr. OFORI ATTA not to be brought back to Ghana.
Samida, who do you refer to?
What matters is that this matter cannot be politicized because the OSP.
And I'm asking you, who is politicizing the subject matter?
Body. When the matter becomes political, it simply means that it's been put out in the public domain and being discussed as if there is a fight between the OSP and the Attorney General. And I'm telling you now that that does not augment.
Are you saying that the Attorney General, Dominic Ayeni, as well as his deputy, Stremsai, don't know this? That's all I'm asking.
Why are you now revealing to me that they might have leaked it?
I don't know. I don't. Samida, I think we're done with the conversation. Okay? Thank you very much, Samida. Samida Kungo is Director for Strategy, the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Don't be surprised if OFORI ATTA goes for American nationality. Not just be able to know. Papa is to say, Obetima Kaso Ghana and you want to say, Edamo United States of America. That is a be able to know. Who got what American in this year? And no question about what. And then I be a faster connection. Now, at the same time, can OFORI ATTA's lawyer, Frank Davis, I say, until you want OSP, any day we will be a course about the client, and I say, Papa, no, and I didn't say, the client Ken OFORI ATTA has made himself available through legal permissible means, or say, no, you bet my virtual, and you necessarily say, Ken OFORI ATTA be people Ghana, now answer OSP, and let me editing come. And you are no quite so no, a very video recorded, a virtual call. OSP is so umpe. They are not there. Saturday will be on the head. Master interest to cry.
Ken OFORI ATTA had made himself available through legally permissible means. When this matter broke, Ken OFORI ATTA, through his lawyers, wrote to the OSP that he was available for an electronic transmission video conference, which is permissible by law. The OSP didn't accede to that. There's the Mutual Legal Assistance Act, which is applicable among countries. The OSP refused to take advantage of that, insisting that he wanted an in-person interview with Ken OFORI ATTA. Whatever that meant, only God knows. So anybody cannot be held to be saying that Ken OFORI ATTA is frustrating on anybody or he's not making himself.
Now, still on the way, and one takes a one, and on a sempa. TV. Now, almost one was analyze it. How a fast one. OSP in the work way. I didn't know go be more treat the S in so. I'm not for saying the OSP must go. Eba saying Ebazima. You know, say, as Obias OSP never know, and Tiasian because the case was a Nippon wanted, Nippon fugitive. Or direct interpol so. Dockety, people are going to and they bet me. I'm making sure say extradition because you are Attorney General. Also, office nation I say, or request for docket, one for docket, man. But with investigators are called. Papa, at the same time, or say, I didn't know letter, and you're Attorney General and address you. We are lawyer, any layman. But who address the chief of staff? As a name on I will be. Inti I say ancient edumsa. Inti way I'm a OSP boss. Kisiajabe. Papa na so why yes.
OSP said that. Yeah, niama bebre. The edikan Ken OFORI ATTA ehun sem ya be. Ana from last week. Yes. Ana man for a soldier egu OSP assume say Asenia Obekasa is special Obekasa is you are former finance minister no. You be extraditing Bagana na man for who same bio na nti dem pa na ekosuntia. Na ye hu aye nkrata bia na OSP atro in June e dey chief of staff say anka aban emwa in the processor anka extradition say ye dey you are Ken OFORI ATTA be fi US ye dey about my emwa. Na chief of staff atro Ede command Attorney General say because Attorney General they should liaise with the OSP and then find a solution to it. Okay. And Krata Anumuno, Attorney General Ebisa for docket investigation up to date. Any maybe proposed charges ne ho niema say ye de kenoforo atabo memu a ye bebo etua no enu nti ano subman say onfa nipa mienu emfi ni office emra attorney general ho say na be a nkomo ne nkasa e nyina o be enwu adwuma ana special prosecutor sa throw letter e de come AG say okay nipa mienu a may recommend and I may appoint from the office and what be adwuma ni memo docket no de e no anka ho and am focus say what start kaso ni pay or a fugitive from justice na hunia man na say docket attorney general be say docket we na sa ho fa anko na say be investigation kura wo yen wie nti kon ben so na wo si obi a fugitive of justice na hunia man nti weekend ni mu semsem na ye ni sources wo OSP office kasa na omo kire mu say docket no si e kasa de onwie na akanka kran hunia ma kakra obewie na nya se boapayo na watena saa documents no so se attorney general ebisa no mbe so de bekwa koma no ebi kura aka se OSP no de nsa ko token for ata asem no so se na be ya attorney general anka sanso entimi mfa ho ne no so wonya sa na attorney general an article 88 or betinya for case bi opebia no wa investigate and prosecute any ekosi ho so e hono no ana lawyer for bi so se attorney general say we wie ni investigation ana say Ken OFORI ATTA say omo memu ha na say or evidence against him. He can file charges against him in absentia. Inti Martin Pebu ni other people actually say so share extradition process na very difficult there. But say from first time I only the 2 wanted list we ba ene be 9-10 months. Echi June wo sa de to Sonia Huniama echi. Na say Ken OFORI ATTA say omo na say wo asem edimu etua no a utimi de call as enibia now file cases in absentia then the case will go on up until when a judge for ebe nti eno no de edi kan ewo OSP won semsem ye to simi no say ebe kai 2022
say in terms of the extradition no
yes
sisia ekonkon
ani
in the name say Ken eba na say Oma because I recall say time and OSP in the second press conference to declare him and I said to re-enter his name on the list.
Wanted list.
Or can say or 2 options.
Yes.
Either he comes voluntarily or he would force his return.
Yes.
It doesn't mean forcing a return.
And only a month for say extradition request don't say because a government to government.
Yes.
So Attorney General so here information be our
yes.
Now that file request no at the DOJ. Now say own fan koya. Now say
and that information should come from OSP.
OSP because OSP na yes investigation, you know. And it is the basis of the information in the docket. And I will bet me akọ DOJ say onipa we a ye peno e de na ba mamu ha no. Ye de na ba fi se we ni we nti.
Okay.
Aban ana asoye bia ye nhwehwemu a je say onipa na ye boni sei ana boni sei enti na ye de na ba enti say no say mfi OSP home ma attorney general ho a attorney general enti me put on that request
and OSP so far in country will be a wire on fast information and
exactly yes sources actually say access information on real investigation on the docket here
okay
ebinum so for instance Adamson and so say they what say the special prosecutor himself ahwa na otwi obeshia nsem for na if there are specific updates on this matter or the minimum or nyintum say ebi abo apoyonti na uncooperative with the attorney general na investigation no ekoso so concluding as a docket near ready or the Beko attorney general.
And I think hopefully so no he should tell the country why if per their claims no or my investigations etimi enya some body of evidence or free say they need Ken to come and answer questions on. Which means even without Ken coming, no, prosecution can begin. You know, and I remember in the first oriental the D onto the list. No, I said that thing here. I am really at a loss. Why? Because really Ken beat me about it.
I can say
every person be and is he saying there's a Ken ba? That's a Ken and Kashi and Chena. Na asem na uana because I don't know why this whole thing say ye hear Ken why ye hear Ken if indeed there are crimes are Ken are committed let's go to the court. Now this ebimo kaso and trial in absentia no e was any pane waha or waha near the court na ebia court take ni plea na trial ne start na odwane and a year trial in absentia. It doesn't mean that. Yeah. So nipa ni ha kra ne what the evidence but let's proceed because anya ya no obetimi anya lawyer my lawyer babere without even a lawyer the case can still go on.
Now according to the Attorney General Deputy Justice Slim Sai HSO, we are happy that Ghanaians prompt us every morning on Ora or say I get no less than 100 messages every day reminding me of Ora. Now there's a woman with Ghana for interest and every single day over that so email, WhatsApp message, Facebook message, Messenger, and your friends say SDM, just Instagram DM, Snapchat DM.
First of all, people who question the oral committee's work probably didn't understand what the committee was to do. So the beginning of every criminal procedure is complaint, you know. So at the time, there were so many complaints of scandals, corruption in high offices. But people lost, you know, confidence in the state institutions because I think over the years they've tried to report some of them to some of the institutions and nothing happened. So they were really looking for a place to lodge those complaints. If the institutions had the trust of the people would have sent their report, these complaints that they sent to the committee there. So what the president did within that period was to create a platform for people to lodge those complaints. It was never intended to be an evidence gathering committee. It was never intended to be any official, when I say official, I mean in the criminal procedure we have stages. So it wasn't meant to be to play any role in the criminal procedure.
But we did see them gathering evidence, didn't we? We saw the committee members going to verify information, see for themselves in some cases.
I like the fact that you said verifying information. Right. So what they were gathering was information.
Right.
And that is different from evidence.
Okay.
So once you get information, so if you go to the police station right now and you say someone has stolen your car, what you have given to the police is information, and we call it complaint. Now the police would have to go and conduct investigations to gather evidence of the allegation of stealing. So what the committee was doing was to gather information. That is why when the president finally assumed office, one of the first official functions he played was to receive the reports, the oral report, which is a compilation of complaints, and hand them over to the Attorney General. So that is when the official criminal proceedings or process would be deemed to have started. And so that is what happened. Now, let me take my time to explain this. The criminal procedure has several steps, you know, in it. So the first one, like I said, is the complaint that people make. When they made a complaint, then we conduct investigations. Now, after investigation, that's the second stage. After investigation, the investigative agencies or the investigators would have to bring what we call a docket or investigative report to the Attorney General to now examine. Now, the Attorney General or the prosecutor, we examine these, you know, investigative reports and dockets, and then we identify gaps in them because the investigators are not necessarily prosecutors, they are not necessarily lawyers. So they give you information. We have found this, we have found a knife, we have found a cutlass, we have found mobile phone. So we will now have to piece this information together and make sure that it forms a seamless line or connection of allegations and evidence that can lead to prosecution. So once they bring the investigative reports, we examine it, and it's a lot of back and forth. So they bring it, we say, no, there's a gap here, go and look for this evidence to fill in this gap. They go again, they bring it, we identify another one. So it's a lot of back and forth. So if you had come here, I mean, if you stay here longer, after this interview, I'm going to meet with investigative agencies. They will bring their reports, we examine them, and then we'll tell them to go back to fill in the gap. We do that until we get a docket which we can take to court. Then when you get a docket, that is when you now file charges. So that's another stage. You file the charges, and then after the charges, you go through pre-trial procedures. Then you go through trial. Then after trial, judgments before, you know, sentencing. So it's a long process. Now, before you even ask, there's a lot of concern, and I'm very much aware about how fast the oral is moving, the effectiveness of the oral. Is the oral dead? Is it still alive? And let me say this, the oral is alive and is very much on track. Understand the people who are raising those concerns. And indeed, for us, we are happy that Ghanaians are not going to sleep on oral. We are happy that they prompt us every morning on social media. Every day, I receive no less than 100 tags on people saying that there's an allegation of this here, there's an oral issue here, what are we doing? So I am very much aware and I like it because when I wake up in the morning, I am energized by the call of Ghanaians to pursue what we promised them.
Well, we have a message and I'm all left right center. Say Attorney General Deputy Justice Simsai, or I know a year slow that bay, and I'm with big fish in between. Or see they be anti, or me are grateful, or me are very happy because they be no a prompto keep you more on your toes. There's a umpire, Muyanasa, Mamunyai, Mungo send message from that. Dr. Justice Simsai, as I did twice, say, hey, the department, you know, or my right is severally. I come office of the special prosecutor, just like I've said earlier, but hey, I'm on for docket to be and without docket, no extradition can be made because a 6-hour case, you know, and original so a copy extradition case is so much just say OSP, you know, I saw the boss on his own. I saw a boss on the own on 4 again, that's why. Now, still from the Deputy Attorney General Justice Simsai, or say whatever we did to the US deportees was done in accordance with the law. Now when in some another panel about a man for busa say na ade na ye dey kodru e Ghana for the US for person for mo share on ba ya papa na mo grama bo no ma som no mo ko na so ye dey no so so mo dey no by law omo the cases dey by ani ehwe mu ani hu so betuma be strategy omo ansa na ye mo ba nti yeso ye dey na yeso ye document e komo omo tell say case ni when you abede against the person and as it stands now the country's law require the person to be available so the obabedin komo di mo extradition am ya sa pepe na nse anso akoso but for now enunsi docket OSP on fama he and am see asemasi Dr. Justice say on other cases was it the shocking thing about the National Service Authority scandal for me it is siphoning of 500 million. We say, or the two say, when the National Service Authority scandal trial starts, Ghanaians will see how shocking it is. Not just say, or say, hey, over 500 million US, 500 million Ghana cedis. Come over to this kind of hey, or that's what that or someone died in now. And shocking it, a shocking will run the bones more, and really don't do. Just had the other hair. Or didn't want to say, hey, possible. Send the person to my idea. Now at the same time, or say so almost started the trials now. And they will say yes, some crofone or say ACB entry gives you worry. Any other ones on account on what this car bad this papa. Now on a mess case, you know, the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Sims, I said. Akwano ye be search ni bio than you ofosunu ye be search no I say eh papa we sure also ye be search no o say yan kan kire there is no way na ye ka si yenja no dey be so ye arrested o say the suspect in Ahmed Swale case will be re-arrested and you know o say case ye yenja kire di dia e ba ya na ye worried na ebusa questions no according to Dr. Justice Simsai the Deputy Attorney General HSA Etubetwa the young lassie Efamo pa the Deputy Attorney General how be or sit the National Cathedral investigation no eguso ekoso enti yantu ewase eno so yenye akire die $97 million ye go to the most expensive in the history of the world no or see you be investigate Ghana you be investigate more last kra now according to Kwame Jantua Esquire member of the CPP or say the OSP should invite former President Akufo-Addo for questioning on the National Cathedral project. Yes, according to Dr. Justice Simsai, say you may investigate the national cathedral because eguso ekoso investigation eguso ekoso rather in this case in employ now when na kwam down to our CPP I say look OSBA nyavego get the boss Fred the former president Nana Akufo-Addo shall say investigate about the national cathedral kwan of us find the national cathedral na funding no we no na ye hu hwe de hu ye eyamina no ye besi hu o mama reasons. Now, in that case, now, OFORI ATTA, OFORI ATTA, OFORI ATTA, you didn't go extraditing the father. Now, say OSB, we are sure so of him, or the boss, he got the nerves to call Nana Akufo-Addo, Nana showboy. Nana guy, Nana his former boss. Me are sure. Me I doubt move there. Me doubt it. Says here me can say open 100 million Ghana cedis. At the free 100,000 Ghana cedis. That's NCC 1 billion. Open the free opportunity no. According to Yoko, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, actually say Abrante friend Kwesi Ajiman abebrese akwani ba wiase bebrese. OSP say money laundering and fraud. Akwaye ye penalty no ba odi ne waka. Ewura wojane ya hwehwe na ye hu no nti no sese no ni mfoni na da hoyi. Wo be hu say face we bia no. Sese ni tu ni ma mienu ida se be ma ni bia da. Na ho aba asem na wo so abechi ubi. Se ye bechi na anase wo be fa ho kode. No wa mane ama yokofo so abechi ne ze kwawo. Omuchi na 100,000 Ghana cedis. And can this get 1 billion? Ya be ma wo se never call am say eh we dey be doing the much as me ko kakra ko frame boss mo ne amotia na ma ke kobu na bo mo me mo GPS na mi van go share bread 100,000 de chabai sika na bi om eti yoko e ma 300,000 wo be hu abrante we e na ba abrante re frɛ no akwesi agiman a wasa bebre wo bebre se agiman abebre se e wade wan ka agiman ba aja wan ko bebre wanko bra onye sika fa ma what I say enti obeso oji man ba sika na se okope na we dey wan fa kwampa so eti koti eso meche no ai ti yoko fo se obunya na o meche ni shege Kevin Taylor e dey amani OSP say OSP afi dey information bia Attorney General na ka bia no chese papa na se corona na wa dey se obeso boy ase unya wa dey se oni Ghana fo betra yi unya wa dey se oni Ghana be di ni. But John Dramani Mahama, I'm a creative, a fast track court. Our public servants are, according to the Public Accounts Committee, being so guilty. No, misappropriation of funds be a cost. Or my brother, there, yet the idea can offer a thief and robber, more idea misappropriation of funds. They may misappropriation. Where we are, then misappropriation. Sikana say for 1,000, now go for 2,000. For budget 500, now go for 3,000 baht. And you can't know. They brought there then I'm not sure say misappropriation. And your mama say any say crime. Na say she so you get to in say wom. You from go to meet no. You creating new fast track courts. Just say be man for enwa chiro am for mo be chire we. After say only the Attorney General, the Chief Justice and the Auditor General e go share a meeting. And this meeting you conclude you be a fine. And you we mistake anybody. For comment no at comment section na say we are subscribe me, like it, na share monia esu enye bi hwe edino eba akope Maxi Billian I will naked truth on Oldboga trends. Bye bye.